So the pumpkin loaf is finished, guys. I've waited for it to cool down and hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Karen, and by the look of it, in today's video I'll be doing something that includes a pumpkin. I'll be making a pumpkin loaf. We're in the fall season, and here in Canada we are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving soon, and you know, with that, that includes anything pumpkin, any ingredient, any recipe that calls for pumpkin, a pumpkin loaf, a pumpkin pie, a pumpkin punch, cupcakes, that kind of thing. So I said, let me go ahead and try and make a pumpkin loaf. It's gonna be my first time doing this, so I hope it comes out good. Basically, pumpkin loaf is a version of your banana bread. All you're doing is substituting the pumpkin for the banana. So I have my 3 eggs that were stored at room temperature. I have a cup of vegetable oil. You could use a virgin olive oil of your choice or any oil of your choice. A cup of granulated sugar, my pumpkin, which I'll only be using 2 cups, an empty bowl for the pumpkin. I'll be using 2 teaspoons of baking powder that was sifted to eliminate any lumps, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 teaspoons of mixed powdered spice. Basically that is I think ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm using white sugar instead of brown. You could use brown sugar, but I want to go ahead and use the white sugar so as to maintain the orange from the pumpkin. So I get that color when I'm finished with the loaf. Using the brown sugar, I think, would probably darken the loaf a little bit. It depends. It's a choice. So I've gone ahead and I've added all my dry ingredients. The baking powder, baking soda, mixed essence to my flour, and I'm just gonna add in the white sugar. I'm gonna stir that around, let it evenly apply, and then I'll be moving on to the wet ingredients. So this is what the pumpkin looks like. So one thing you have to be careful for when you're buying the pumpkin in the can, there's one that says pumpkin pie filling, and there's one that says 100% pumpkin. So the one for filling is the one that normally is used for the pumpkin pie, small pies, and that kind of stuff. It has added sugar and added things in there. This is the straight pumpkin, so it's not gonna say for pumpkin pie filling. It's just gonna say 100% pumpkin. So this is the Ed Smith brand, and this is just what it's going to say. Some might say pumpkin puree, but I know for a fact that this brand carries a smaller can, and it says pumpkin pie filling in fine print right along this bottom. And I'm doing this, guys, to try to eliminate some of that eggy taste from the eggs. And I'm just gonna whisk. Doing it too strong here. And then I'm gonna add the egg to the pumpkin along with the oil. And then I'm gonna combine all of those together and then throw that in to the dry ingredient. All of it. All of that. This is what the pumpkin looks like with the oil, the egg, and the pumpkin mixture. I'm just gonna now throw the wet ingredients slowly into the dry. Getting all of it out. So in this bowl, I have some raisins that I had soaked in some white rum and some Jamaican white rum and some Myers black rum. And I just sprinkled before some of the liquid into the batter to give it a little bit more kick. And then this makes 2 loaf. So I'm going to put one, I'm going to empty some into one loaf pan, and then after that I'll pour in these raisins into the other. So I'll have like a pumpkin raisin loaf. This is what your batter looks like. This is what you will want or hope it to look like. Let's do the stick test. So, not too thick. So I've gone ahead and preheated my oven at 350 Fahrenheit, and the bread will be baking for at least 30 to 40 minutes. I've gone ahead, I've greased 2 loaf pans, and I've gone and added some parchment paper, grease paper onto the bottom of the pans, so when they're baked it's easy to remove even more. So this one, guys, has in the raisins, and this one is just a plain pumpkin loaf. It's reaching up to 350. I put the oven for an hour, but I'm gonna check it at 30 minutes mark. So the pumpkin loaf is finished, guys. I've waited for it to cool down, and I've gone ahead and cut the one that has the raisin in it. This is how it's looking. This is the back of the loaf, and this is how crumbly it is, right? You can eat this pretty much like any other dessert. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the plain loaf and let you see how that looks. This is what the plain one looks like. Again, just a crumbs test. Looking lovely. I tasted a slice from the one that has the raisins, and it is tasting delicious. So guys, this is my first time trying to bake a pumpkin loaf, and I could say it turned out fine. I used a can of pumpkin puree. It's a 796 milliliter can, which I only used 2 cups of the pumpkin puree, and it actually will give you 4 cups of puree, and you only need 2 cups for the 2 loaves. So you technically can get 4 loaves from that one can. So guys, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. Bye.